WrestleMania 40. Is this the best WrestleMania ever? We will discuss in the Two versus Brother podcast. Pedro, I can tell you that WrestleMania 40 was a total success. We finally was able to finalize the story of Cody Rhodes. And it was a hell of a main event. We could say maybe the best main event ever, in which we are going to discuss it here today. And I mean, there's no words to describe. And for our viewers, you can definitely see how we reacted to a lot of the best parts, with the Undertaker showing up, with Damian Priest cashing in. I mean, we were in the edge of our seats the entire WrestleMania. It was a success. So I want to ask you, what is your thoughts of this WrestleMania, and do you believe the main event was the best ever?
Alfredo, everything going from the beginning of the night to the end of the night. I enjoyed every minute of it. I was elated. I was high on the feeling of WrestleMania. And to your point, this is the best WrestleMania in my opinion since WrestleMania 17. Even though I believe WrestleMania 17 is a tad better at this point in time. Of It's been many years since that. And just to give you a little example, you know, every match that we watched, we enjoyed, even from the women's matches to the main event. Cashing in with the cash in at the end, with
Damian
CM
Priest.
Punk, with Damian Priest, CM Punk, making the opportunity available, and everything that went on before that when it came to Damian Priest, because they were saying that he was scared to cash in, that he just needs to pick his opportunity and take it, and now he's the world heavyweight champion, and of course now we have this feud now that we're gonna see going forward. That feud is gonna be awesome, but we're on to the main event. Night one, very good main event. I
45-minute match.
Yeah, a 45-minute match is, I believe, the second longest WrestleMania match of all time. I would believe the first would be the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels match. That would, I believe, would be the Iron Man match they had. That one had to have been number one. But everything that happened in that match happened so eloquently. The Rock coming back and in the cold, because if I remember correctly, it was 50 degrees, 40 something degrees outside, and he looked like he didn't skip a beat. Of course, it was a more slow paced match because it's the first match he's had coming back, and for everything from what I saw, it was great. I don't know how you felt, Alfredo. We've talked about it a little bit, but I want you to express yourself in the podcast.
Well, on the Saturday part, I mean, definitely the first couple of matches was very solid. That main event on Saturday night, it was great. It was a 45-minute tag team. It started a little bit slow, but as you started seeing develop, and the good thing, not only that it was great wrestling match, it was a great storytelling during the match. Um, you saw how Roman Reigns, how The Rock, together were there, and at the end, we thought that there was going to be interference, and there was no interference. But I mean, what's your thoughts during the match? That The Rock, he was bossing around the referee, telling him that if you're, I'm gonna get you fired, using all his authority, his final boss rules in it, until finally he was able to hit him with the belt on the back of Cody Rhodes, and then he pinned him, and then that's how it ended Saturday for then what ended up being the main event with bloodline rules. And I mean, Pedro, I mean, what was your favorite moment of that main event?
You talking about night one or night two?
Night two. We are on to night one. We're going to night two.
Well, my favorite moment in that main event of night two is just the run. Like everything was going according to plan. Remember, we had a prediction of how everything was going to go, and I explained to you how there are going to be run-ins. I didn't expect nothing like this. Of course, you called the John Cena running
Guys,
that
check
we
it in our WrestleMania 40 prediction video. Go through it and you'll see what we meant.
yes. That was a very keen observation that you came up with. That I have to give you props on that one. I didn't see that one coming. But my favorite part in that whole thing when we had the Rock take out John Cena. He's coming down the aisle, mad as hell. It is saying all kinds of stuff coming down the aisle. And then he finally gets there. John Cena comes and sees him. Boom, he's gonna go in there and hit him. No, rock bottom, out of the ring. And then he says, "You know what? I'm gonna get in here, and I'm gonna hit everybody with the belt." Just sitting like this, and then of course, dong, we get the gong, and right behind him, Undertaker, and the Rock's
Well,
face changes.
you forgot one part.
What?
After he beat up John Cena, who
Oh,
else beat him?
oh no, yeah, the Shield, of course.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It was amazing. And again, you were saying Undertaker showed up. You were like in awe.
Of course, I didn't expect Undertaker to show up. That's not an Undertaker thing to show up in a situation where he wasn't. Nothing. He didn't have nothing to do with that. But that star power and him showing up at a WrestleMania, and we haven't seen him in a little bit. We all know that he is pretty much retired, but you never know what could happen now that TKO has taken over the WWE. He could come back for a match, and that's a money match with The Rock. So you never know what could happen. But still, having him come back, chokeslam The Rock, and then now The Rock is out of the picture, and now it's back to 1-on-1. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, chair in the middle of the ring. It's storytelling. Everything turned out perfect.
Everything was storytelling. I'll tell you this. Obviously, I predicted that the main event was going to be chaotic. But I mean, you started seeing develop. First thing when Jimmy, with Jimmy and Jey Uso that they were fighting against each other, went through the table. You knew eventually Solo was going to come out, and it's beautiful the whole storytelling because last year in WrestleMania, Solo showed up right when he was about to do the crossbody, he did it three times, and on
Mm-hmm.
the third time, Solo showed up. And if you noticed it, he started doing it, and at number three, he was looking around
Mm-hmm.
because he knew Solo was going to show up, and actually, Solo showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Solo and Roman Reigns started beating him up. You even noticed how Solo was ordering Roman Reigns, let's go, let's finish it.
Yeah.
And he did. But Cody Rhodes just kept on and kept on.
Yeah.
So then we were gonna say, okay, something had to happen because a Rock still didn't came out yet. So
Yeah.
somebody needed to come in. Yeah, we were seeing that this was gonna be kind of like an Avengers Endgame type of scenario.
Yes.
And then John Cena showed up, like how I thought that this was gonna happen. John Cena, in this again a brilliant move by WWE. They were in the truck, so they foreshadowed what was gonna happen. People was not surprised. I was even looking at some of the YouTube videos and the reactions of live reaction being in the arena, and they were expecting for John Cena to show up. So he showed up, and we still, it was excellent because John Cena had payback with the bloodline. He was a victim of it. They took him out.
Yeah.
So he took out Solo, and then the final boss came out, upset, and then we had that stare down between The Rock and John Cena, two rivals that faced off in WrestleMania a decade ago. One of the WrestleManias that we were there,
Yeah.
WrestleMania 28, and The Rock and John Cena were there together. And then suddenly, and the most amazing thing, the Rock bottoms it. But
Hmm.
then you know what's the cool thing about it, Pedro? Is that after he does that rock bottom, we're like thinking, okay, yeah, everybody who was supposed to interfere
Hmm.
here, what's gonna happen? You thought Seth Rollins wasn't gonna show up, and because he was hurt, so
Yeah.
you thought. And actually, one of my favorite part was the Shield came out again. Seth Rollins told that he was going to be the Shield to Cody Rhodes, and
Hmm.
it was perfect. And actually, we were talking about it. Oh my God, is it going to be Dean Ambrose? Obviously, it was ended up being Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, attacked him, and then okay, yeah, Seth Rollins out. Who else is going to come out? And that was the moment that some people, again, looking at these videos from YouTube, the reaction, someone were thinking it was going to be Stone Cold, and ended up being The Undertaker. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I think they chose The Undertaker. Obviously, Stone Cold probably was a priority number one. For whatever reason, they didn't agree. But The Undertaker, it's someone. Remember, The Rock has been taking over the WWE locker room. He considered himself as the final boss.
Hmm.
So absolutely, of a higher power more than of the Undertaker. The Undertaker being the veteran, decide to do what's right and step up for Cody Rhodes. But you know what was still my favorite? That I love all of that. But my favorite part, you know what it was?
Hmm.
Right at the end, Roman Reigns had the chair. Again, great storytelling. He had Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes. If your goal is to win it you, all you have to do is just hit Cody Rhodes and you would pin him.
Yeah.
But instead, because he still has not been able to get over the betrayal of Seth Rollins for the Shield 10 years ago, he did the same thing that what Seth Rollins did to him 10 years ago in that night in June when the Shield was broken up. And then from that moment on, he got distracted and Cody Rhodes was able to finish it off. So basically, I mean, you can say that Seth Rollins was the reason that Roman Reigns lost. Can you imagine
Hmm.
after everything it ended up being Seth Rollins the one to do it?
Yep. Seth Rollins limping to the ring because it looked like he was done. He was on his last leg and trying to get to the ring and then getting the Superman punch, and he's down. And after Undertaker comes out and lays out the Rock, he tries to get back up. Roman has the chair. He has to pick what he's gonna do. He looks at Cody Rhodes right down on his right hand side. He sees him getting up, but then he has a face of disgust on his face when he looks at Seth Rollins with the hair exactly like how he used to have it. Everything exactly like how he used to have it. He used to have the vest, all the clothes exactly like. He gets up, bah, hits him in the back, gives Cody Rhodes just enough time an end to Roman Reigns' illustrious
Uh,
title reign.
Again, brilliant, brilliant. You know, managing by WWE. Great storytelling. Awesome. But I mean, I would say this is my favorite main event, even more than WrestleMania 17. It was a great WrestleMania 17, but this one, it's just the whole chaotic thing. It made pure sense. I mean, it's like those two are right there. I mean, I would say this one because of the whole storytelling, the final, the Cody Rhodes finishing the story. I think this one will be my favorite one.
No, I have to disagree with you, Fredo. I love this. I love this main event. Everything with this main event in my opinion, turned out perfect. Especially how everything turned out, all the interference, bloodline rules, everything against Cody. But Cody came out on top. But then we have to really think about it. This is the beginning of something. if you really come to think about it, this is the first WrestleMania that Triple H is basically the boss of. He
Yeah.
is the one, the chief officer for anything that has to do with the content. He has his fingerprints all over this. But this is the beginning of something, and I believe we're gonna get better and better WrestleManias and better and better. I don't know if they call them pay per views anymore, but generally they're gonna better and better live shows. But at this point in time, WrestleMania 17, that was the end of an era for real. That was the end of the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
and it was pretty much the end of the Stone Cold character how we knew it. Because as soon as he turned heel that night, when he shook hands with the devil, that was the end of the of
Hating himself, like Jim Ross said.
yeah. That was the end of an era. He turned his back on everybody because he wanted the championship. The build up to that WrestleMania is epic. There's nothing better than that build up to that WrestleMania. Even the song that they used, "My Way or the Highway," everything had to go between the two biggest stars that had ever been in the WWF at the time. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock the champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin the challenger, and it ended the way it did. But
I definitely agree, man. It was a great main event. That one was very emotional because the Stone Cold turning heel, something that you didn't expect it.
yeah,
And
no one expected that.
well, I mean, we'll ask. I think WrestleMania 40 was the best one. Pedro thinks where WrestleMania 17 is. We'll ask you to our subscribers, to our people that watch us in the video, which main event you think is the best one, 17 or 40? You can definitely put in your comments, like this episode, and just hit up the subscribe button, and we'll continue